Right, good morning. So I've now made it to Disley, and we're at the start of the trail. Let's try not to die. Yeah, good morning again. I made it 10 metres from the station and started feeling a dripping on my legs. I was like, oh no. So rummaged into my bag and I knew exactly what it would be, and that is, even though it's in a bag as well, stupid shitty Nature Hike bottles. It's literally pissed out leaking, drips a bit onto my legs, but it's dripped onto bits of gear as well. So thank God it was right quite near the back, and at least everything was bagged up, so there's no major issue. But still could have jeopardised absolutely everything. So you're going in a bin. I don't care if you cost a fiver. You could literally cost a lot more then. That's it. Stand for your master. Oh God. Yeah, I know. Why'd you pick on the path? Millennium Wood. Planted to hide the dodgy goings on at Lyme Park. That's right. The whole of Manchester is a deer sanctuary. Full of old deers. Not the sort of deers you expect to see in a park. There you go, you can see north side of Kinderscat in the distance. Just up that bit's where the two F-86 Sabres crashed. Going round to Musser, over there in the distance. And then over on the hill is the cage. So we're in Lyme Park at the moment, which was it was made by the lime tree family in the 1200s. Made their money off of lime trees. Because they were stinking rich, although black lights hadn't been invented yet, they didn't really want the mess in their main house, so they built that, which is called the sex cage, where they had all their parties. These days, however, it's owned by the National Trust. They've turned it into Manchester's biggest crack den. It's only open Monday to Friday. I think it's 1 in the afternoon till 3 in the morning, and you've got to book ahead in advance. So here we are at the main limestone hall. So what happened to the family exactly? Well, they're in the lime tree business, and after that sort of came to an end, they decided they could start shooting movies here instead. So there's been such movies here as Debbie Does Dallas, Triple X Mega Chunky Lovers, and a few others, just to name a couple that I've not watched. So just leaving Lyme Park now, literally at the edge of the boundaries now. What they found as well here is that it's actually cheaper to hire cows to guard the entrances than it is to have bouncers, because they work for, let's face it, they work for grass, and not the type they're trying to sell down in the crack den either. And here's the bowstones, or bowstones. Now, these actually make up a giant bow and arrow set. So these are actually the arrowheads, but the rest of it's all been lost throughout history, unfortunately. So we're heading along there now, which is quite nice and flat actually. Where are we looking over this way? Oh, I've lost my bearings. Kinder Scouts over that way. That is the hill I went up a few weeks ago and I can't remember the name of. That there could... I don't think it probably is. It might be Cats and Shine Tour, but I don't think that is. And then Shutlings Low right in the distance. So let's go. So it's a brief bit about the Gritstone Trail, the history of it. It was made in 1952 by William Grit. Didn't live anywhere in the area, but he just wanted something with his name in. So that's really where it comes from. There is gritstone in these hills, but the reason it's called gritstone is because you grit your teeth when you're trying to chisel it out. As you can see, as time goes on, they've actually now decided to start filling the quarries back in. We're just getting to a high point now. So zooming around, Kinder Scout, back in the Mam Tour. Yeah, still can't remember the name of that. It's got a hill fort on it. You can walk it out of Buxton. It's like a little mini 8-mile route, Kinder Scout. And yeah, I was right. There's a rock formation over there. I can't remember the name of it, but you can see the cars going past possibly. You can literally park at the bottom. So that's fun for a nice little climb. And then yeah, that is Cats Tour, Shining Tour. We've lost the view of Shutlings Low. You can see the back end of the woods at Macclesfield Forest. The telecoms tower, which we should be by later. And then zooming around a bit, we've got White Nancy that we'll go over the history of later. And then we've got the lovely Cheshire Plain. I can see my... oh God, hang on. There you go, there is a Malcop right in the distance. And that'll be the cloud, I think possibly to the left of it. So we should be all the way over there by tomorrow. Then we've got Jodrell Bank on the Cheshire Plain. And just zooming round. Mercer Airport in the distance, and then yeah, just Manchester. And then because that trig point there wasn't big enough, they've decided to build a big one. Right, so this is the bit I've seen a few people sort of saying about where the path splits, and it's not very clear. I don't know if that's new, but there's certainly a post straight ahead. And on the map it looks like it goes fairly straight, so once you see a quarry like that and the road you can see going round to it, I'm guessing this is where we're just going to follow the pointiness straight on from the G on the GT. Out. Yeah, okay, it's still terrible. It's like following a bit of a desired line off. There's obviously a much more, bit of a harder path. Missed out the style there. Oh, now propped up a sign in the field there. And there's one over there. So, yeah, this is truly a point to get lost on the moors. Although we're not in Yorkshire, so we're not going to get eaten by a werewolf. So, yeah, you can see the pointy one on the hill, then there's another one, and then there's a bit of a desired path over that way, which I started walking along, so there's some women walking towards me the other way, and I thought they're on the path, and obviously they're not. And so I've missed out 100 metres, so I've now cut back across. I could have carried on down the field on that side, because it will meet back up further down, and it's not really, it's an old wall, so it's not like you can't get over it just by literally stepping. So let's carry on. You can see right in the distance there's the big nipple. Well, we're getting towards the nipple, but for some reason they've just buried some dead people on the footpath. Honestly, Cheshire, have you run out of space to bury your dead? It's disgraceful. Carry on and die. Ooh. Ooh. So one of the things certainly on this walk is trying to find water. I know later on trying to get water out of the River Dane, I think it might be an issue. hopefully not, but down at the bottom, incoming, down at the bottom of the garden, down at the bottom of the valley, towards the nipple, there is a stream which you can quite easily get to and get water out from if you've got a water filter with you. So that's certainly one thing to bear in mind if you sort of come this way. Oh, we've got a ruin or something up there. Let's have a look in a minute if it goes that way. Oh, it doesn't. We're heading away from it. So I'll Google it now. It's a haunted mansion. And an ex-cotton mill of candy floss, which used to be one of the UK's main exports. So we'd get the sugar cane from the Americas, and then once we'd got the sugar cane, we'd bring it over here, mill it into candy floss, and then sell it. Didn't make for good clothing though. So you get some beautiful views from up here. Right over the Cheshire Plain, there you can see Jodrell Bank. You can just make out in the haze there, you can see Beeston Castle. And we're looking all over the Cheshire Plain. I think the lumpy bumpy bit there is Forest at Audley Edge. Is it Audley Edge? One of the snooty places of Cheshire. And a lovely factory down the hill in Bollington, where they make the Bollington beer. And just here we've got White Nancy. So this was built to commemorate the death of Napoleon at Waterloo. They then stuck his nipples in a casket and brought them back. By the time they got back though, they realised that actually they'd drunk all of the drink out the casket. So they're a bit shocked. So they built this monument here to commemorate him, and then they put his nipple and a little placard inside, and they built a little bar here. But they thought that was a bit OTT, so eventually they closed it. They painted it white, and they just stuck a little bobble bit on the end to commemorate that Napoleon's nipple was inside. So right, we're going to carry on this way now. So right in the distance that way you can see the Cat and Fiddle pub. So that's Shining Tor there, and the hill way back there is Cat's Tor. And yeah, we just come all the way across the valleys from somewhere over one of those two. So yep, let's crack on and go get a cup of tea. I think it's a bit overgrown this time of year, but first proper quarry just down there that we're going past, and just down there in the distance is all the Macclesfield. So I don't know, I'm sort of shocked, because I know for me Macclesfield's probably about 20 miles from home. So there's about 14 to Congleton for me, and then about 14, about another 7 to, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. 14 from home to Congleton, no, 7 from home to Congleton, and 7 from Congleton to home. So you can see this village has a castle, and it doesn't know how to spell WTF. Ooh, there's a church there as well. Let's carry on. So just into the last probably kilometre to mile or so of leg one. You can just see White Nancy on the hill there, and you can see the ridge here. You sort of come along, and then very horribly just there you go straight down the hill at an angle. I hate that. Yeah. So we've come the whole way from over there today somewhere. So we've gone all the way along there, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, back up, and now up this way, over the hill, Teg's Nose. I'll go get a drink and something to eat, I think. Almost now to Teg's Nose. But yeah, wish I was a P for pub, but it ain't. Or maybe it is. Or a P for piss off. Let's carry on. The infamous picnic benches. Were they? I don't know why you bother. When literally 500 metres this way is a cafe and toilets and facilities and stuff anyway. But I guess if you're not stopping, you just want a brew and stuff, or a bite to eat. So on the bench, and I guess it is nice and calm and quiet here. So, there's that. Oh, nearly there, and then 25 miles to go.
Oh gosh, I might be a bit offended.
Part one over. Right, so just been to Teg's Nose cafe. It's $5.50 for a tuna salad wrap, and then I think about £1.50, whatever, something like that, for a can of San Pega. You can also top up water next to the counter as well for free. So I've completely filled the water bladder, so I've got 3 litres full. I'd literally just run out of 1.7 litres just hitting here, so that's 1.7 litres of water sipping over 10 miles. So it's about 170 ml per mile, I think, roughly. Yeah, then literally I've just powdered my feet and my nose, and just trying to dry out the bits that are still wet from that stupid bottle. I could kill that, I really could. So I've got the beef, got everything I need. So the next stretch, in theory, I've got enough water for, but it then comes down to the evening and having water then for the evening, and also for cooking, where it's freeze-dried food. So I'll have to, for the next leg of setting, we'll have to stock up somewhere, because I don't think there's anywhere I can do. Right, so I'm going to get this packed up, and I'm going to get back to the start point for leg 2. Right, so just got back on the trail. Yeah, about 45-minute break in the end. They've got toilets that are sort of just slightly external in the cafe as well, so that's nice. As I said, water you can fill up inside, so I've completely filled the water bladder. This bag doesn't feel amazingly heavy, but it does feel a bit more bloated now on the back, because the water bladder's pushing into my back more. But apart from that, all is now good. A bit more refueled. Do think I need a shed load more energy, though. I'm starting to feel it towards the end there. Just literally just that sapping of energy. So now I've got 14 more miles to go today. Will I make it? Fucking hell. Who knows? We'll find out. It's such a beautiful day though. Look at that. It's only just 2 o'clock. So 2 till 9, 9. Yeah, I've got about 7 or 8 hours until it's dark. So that has taken from just after 9 o'clock, 9 AM, till 1:45. So 4 hours 45 for 10. So yep, I'm on track. It's nice and quiet here as well now. Let's crack on. Oh, it's certainly quiet here today. A tropical childhood. Sounds like a tin of Lilton. So Teg's Nose was carved out in this way because they were trying to replicate Mount Rushmore. but they ran out of funds and they were using things like this. Which looks quite funky, the rock crusher. And then over there, the fight cage. And some sort of big crane for winching fat people into the sky. Maybe a theme park ride, who knows. So it's a lovely sweeping view of Macclesfield Forest from here. Shutlings are in the background up there pointing out. And then the nuclear missile on the hill over there we're heading towards now. And then behind it the bobbly hill afterwards. So this section doesn't look too bad compared to the others. It's certainly hilly, but it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to say it now and I'll be crawling later. Yeah, that's Tegs Nose. We've just come down. There used to be a ski resort at the top there. Then it treed over one winter, so they stopped. That's been the worst stretch so far coming down. There's a few steps at the top, yes, but most of it's actually sort of quite big stone, sort of gravel almost. So coming down, you've got to make sure you're not slipping. It'd actually be better going up that, I think, than going down. I absolutely hate that. So it's at the reservoirs now. There's the missile on the hill we're heading towards. Got a funky view of Shutlings Low there, just hiding behind another hill. But I'm more interested in the sheep who are going, "What's up?" They're obviously Budweiser drinkers. This is, I'm hoping, the last real hill now left, apart from heading up the cloud, because then by tomorrow the walk up through to the woodlands towards Malcop is just piddly. So I think I've done most of the elevation then. Let's crack on. Still heading up, but yeah, a bit of a quarry there, a few quarrying sort of things, and you can just see Macclesfield there, sort of southern side of Macclesfield. Distance there, Jodrell Bank somewhere, and then Manchester well on the horizon now. Right, let's crack on. In Cheshire, phone reception's never an issue, thanks to this. It's a Saturn V rocket with a load of telecoms equipment on it. And over there, lined up almost perfectly, you've got the cloud and Malcop behind it. So we're almost at the halfway point. I don't think I've got any legs left, and it's just come up to 5:10, so that's 8 hours including a 45-minute stop. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 5 more hours and about 10 more miles to go, I think, until I hit my point for this evening. But I am roughly on time, which is quite scary because I don't think I've got any legs anymore. I really need to eat a shed load of food, so probably going to find somewhere to sit shortly. Just literally dig out a couple of military MRE bits, replenish the trail mix, and then yeah, literally just carry on going. So I think if I stop for too long, I'm just not going to get back up. So yeah, there we go, Saturn V rocket. Right, I'm sort of hoping I've not just broken the camel's back, I've kicked its head in and I've sold it to someone. We're sort of almost on the top of the flat of wherever now, I don't know. Got a lovely view of the roaches over that way. A few lovely camping spots on that. Over to the end there is Hanging Stone, and then down, sort of following it around that way somewhere is Winkle. And in Winkle there is a lovely little brewery, funny enough, called the Winkle Brewery, which sort of sells some bits to National Trust. It's probably about a 1.5 mile detour. Once you hit the conduit, you just head straight up the River Dane the other way. But I'm not even doing that. I've got a second wind at the moment while we're motoring along on a flat road, and I've stopped, had a bit of something to eat. Well, just an army ration sort of bun thing with 300 calories and 50 grams of carbs, and just dusted my feet off again. So you can see the cloud over there. So that's where we're aiming for still. It is now 6 o'clock. So I've got 3.5 hours until sunset, and I'm not sure what the mileage is. I know from the other end of the conduit, once you get off, because I did a test run, it's 3, and that's 3. No shit, that's 2 miles there. 2 miles from the top of the cloud to the conduit. There's 3 miles down to the car park the other side. So I only have about 5-6 miles left, I think. So hopefully 6 miles, 3 hours. So, oh God, might be ahead of schedule, because I think, apart from the 2 hills you can see in the distance now, which generally are wimps in comparison to the rest of them, the cloud's quite a nice steady climb all the way up from the base, next to the old railway line that heads down to Rudyard. That's over there somewhere is Rudyard Reservoir, but we can't see that yet. I'll come back to that in a bit. Right, we'll certainly be picking up the first water source we can now, because literally, oh fuck, I've drunk through 3 litres of water since leaving Teg's Nose, which is horrendous. But what I have noticed is, if you look over that way, what sort of lawnmower has the farmer got to make the patch work like that? Both fields, look. That's an impressive lawnmower the farmer's got. On top of that, just down there, I think it's Bosley Reservoir. On the side, that side somewhere, there's a pillbox from WW2. And what was it there for? Yeah, it was there for if German spies decided to fly in, land on the reservoir and drop spies off. Someone had a really good imagination. So there's the cloud over there. We are getting closer. There's the nuclear missile. So as I said, the whole way down from the top of the cloud all the way down to the valley down the bottom by the conduit's 2 miles. So realistically, say 2 miles more on top of that, 4 miles. Seems to have got a bit more energy about me after eating an MRE, so fuck knows what that's packed with, but it's obviously done the trick. So yeah, I'm going to carry on down. We're going to have to source water out the Dane, certainly not out the conduit, although it should be fairly filtered. And failing that, I will have to carry on all the way round to where I was going to get water from before heading up the cloud, which is about 1.5 miles before the end of the cloud, before getting to the top of the cloud. So, right, I'd better crack on, because it is now, what time is it now? 6:20. So actually I've got 3 hours to sunset. Well, actually 3 hours and 20 minutes, and I don't think I've got 6 miles to go. So yeah, let's crack on. Gosh, that is pretty impressive. owls for sale. Right, let's crack on. Well, I've certainly had a spot of luck there, for certain. A very kind lady, just pulling into her drive and sort of walking behind her. Sort of, so I was doing the Gritstone trail and stuff. And she said, "Do you want any water?" So I was like, "Wow, yes please." So, thank you kind lady for topping up my water bladder. I've now got 3 litres, so I'm certainly set for the rest of today. So that's good. She even offered ice as well, which would have been nice, but I don't think it's really gonna do too much in a bladder. Shame. Maybe 3 litres of wine would have, but yeah. So there are certainly nice people in the world. Right, so just before hitting the conduit now. Oh, he's off. Cheeky pheasant in the. Yeah, you can access the River Dane once you've just gone over the bridge from the looks of things. Just have to go over under those poles. So now I'm just going to carry on up, hit the conduit. I'm really hoping that, because I've seen other videos and it looks really wide further back this way. I think it's where it hits the little bridge the other side. That's potentially where it narrows off for a while. And you could see it trodden down, you could get through. It's just a bit of hassle or effort. So I'd rather give that a try, because otherwise I've got to follow this road up. If I use the full alternative route, follow this into Money, not everywhere's called Money Ash to me at the moment. Forgotten the name of the place now. Follow it into a little village and then up back along an old railway line. But I'd rather not add an extra mile on, because I don't have the time. And at this stage I'd rather not add more hills on, since by the time I've then done the cloud, there's probably only about 300-400 metres max left out of 1800. So I've pretty much done all the elevation and all the walking, all the hard part in the day. So yeah, and then we'll just tomorrow head down the cloud. Then it's just a old railway section. Then you sort of come off that, you go up the hill to the ridge, and then along to Malcop, which is uphill, but it's not too bad, and it is a road like this again. And then down Malcop, down an old tram track, and then it's canal. So this all ends flat as anything. So tomorrow should be, generally tomorrow is just a get the last bit out of the way day. Right, so I've had to divert, it's just too long, so I've taken a shortcut, well not a shortcut, it's almost about the same length actually, but as I said I've got to go up elevation. But I've just found a rock bunker, a Royal Observer's Corps bunker from the Cold War. How cool is that? It's just sat there, which is also quite funny considering in the hill that thing's probably, it was meant for nuclear blast, designed to withstand. So awesome. So the other side of the conduit I decided to bail, instantly knowing what the end's like. So you can see that's got water in it somewhere. You can see that is so overgrown, it's just impossible. Now I've got to go down here. Now when I walked this last week for a test, literally down there somewhere it gets up to sort of over waist height, but once I'm over that road there's the cloud, 2 miles left from here, and it is now, am I on track for 9? 8:05, so I'm 5 minutes late at the moment, so that's not too bad considering I've just gone down literally the hill of hell. That field there's suicidal. Literally, I've gone through 3 fields of bulls, although they're quite tame actually, they just want to come and say hello. And then, now I'm getting eaten by bugs. And then literally the ground, it's just rammed full of little cow hoof holes. So it's just impossible to right yourself walking properly. Not that I'm walking properly anywhere, I feel like a hobbit. Right. Next final goal for today, the cloud. Right, so this is about probably the last place I can think where you can get water from, where, you know, if you needed to filter it, it comes, whatever cloth this is, it comes down, I think. So it should generally be quite clear. So hopefully no pesticides or shit in it. It does pong a bit down here, but it's the usual woodland sort of pong smell, so I don't know. But it's flowing. And that's literally after the conduit, and you go across the road and then through the farmer's fields where I've been bitten by, I'm assuming a horsefly or something that literally drew blood. Hopefully it died when I whacked it, but who knows. Right, up through this woodland now before it gets too dark, because it is now 8:34, so got an hour until sunset, so and probably about a mile and a half or so left, I hope. I really fucking hope. So we're gonna nail this out, and then we're gonna get up and we're gonna have a good rest, some food, and get tents up. Wow, that tower over there, and the hill to the left, and the hill to the right, and the valley over there, and all down there. Almost seems like a distant memory. So, literally about a kilometre or so now from the cloud, and it's literally 1 minute to 9. So, in theory, if I thought I'd do it in 12 hours and I had a 45-minute break, I've got 45 minutes and I'm bang on time, and it's sunsets at 9:37 or something like that. So, still got a good dollop of light anyway, as you can see. So, right, I'm going to crack on up the most horribly slopey hill of hell. One way you almost feel like you're pissed walking up it. Let's crack on. Right, good morning from the cloud. I was going to wake up earlier, but then literally, well, it's 6:30 now roughly. So I was going to get up a bit earlier than that, but in the end, need a bit of a rest. Feet this morning, as soon as I put pressure on them, I was like, oh my god, how the hell am I even going to do this? But I'll take them off a bit. Talcum powder. So yeah, I'm feeling semi-confident now about knocking out 11 miles this morning. Especially since it's so nice and early, and I'm already just in shorts and a t-shirt. It was literally hot, so let's carry on. It's beautiful morning. Next stop, hopefully, is just over there. Malcop. I'm not sure how many miles that is actually. I'm going to assume probably about 5 miles, 5-6 miles, and then I'll take it off from there. So the first Gritstone trail sign for this morning, so let's crack on. Wow. Normally when sort of come for a walk up the cloud, at the top here there's a little road that runs all the way down to the main road anyway, you can park on. So I've not been down this staircase in ages, and it used to be horrendous. It used to be muddy, slippy bits, sort of different size steps and everything, and now it is absolutely beautiful. It's a proper staircase, sort of all filled in with gravel and everything, so still horrendous on my feet at the moment, but yeah, it's so much more nicer now. I was really not looking forward to this, so it's nice to see this bit's better. So bit more to go. Not much further left now. Railway, hill, fairly flat, downhill, flat. In the railway now. Right, so as we just have a wander along the railway, about just after joining the railway, there's a bench about 100 odd metres down, so I had to stop because my feet are just absolutely caning again. So I've put duct tape on bits, still on the other socks. So I've gone on to a thicker pair of socks now that are also dry. So they seem to be holding up. So I'm just going to have to see how they go really. Right, it's 9:15 now. Into the railway. There's a nice new little sign on the post actually, I think, to point down the stairs. Also, you just got to be looking to your left as you're going along the old railway line. So, just done the climb up the road, past some little cute goats, little baby goats. Now looking forward to some shade in the woodlands because I can't feel my feet anymore at all. I'm just looking forward to getting onto just a proper flat bit of road where I can just literally just plod along and just maintain my feet. This sort of stuff is just yeah. Yeah, it's certainly painful now. So I think from this I'm definitely going to learn that I think these shoes are probably half a size too big because they're rubbing in places which would suggest that. And sock wise, need some better, probably wicking wool, sort of part wool, part thingy socks, etc. Right, let's crack on. Looks cool in there. Oh God. We are now at Moman. So that's about a mile downhill to about 3 miles left. And it is now, am I on time? 10 AM. So I was reckoning 11:30. So if I can do a mile every half an hour, I don't think that's going to happen. Then, yeah, but you never know. Considering that you can see that's railway line and that's canal, so that's a good block. That was horrible going just gently uphill, but it is road. Going down there is going to be hell because I've got no feet left. Let's carry on. Let's keep seeing my man. Oh. Now at Malcop. Built in 1287 by Melton Mowbray, the pork pie baron. So we've got about 3 miles left to go now. I can't wait just to get onto the canal and just chug along on these feet rather than gravel, which every single stone just seems to be finding the wrong place to sit. So yeah, let's get this done. So, now done all the elevation, hope. I guess the only elevation would be maybe going over a canal bridge or two. I don't think they're going to class that though. Should do. Anyway, we're now heading down Malcop. And we're heading down this path here, which you can sort of see on either side banks off. That's because this is actually an old tram track that used to run from a coal mine over the other side of Malcop, all the way down to, as you just before you hit the canal on this route, you'll see like an old building for the canals. Glass house, really good sort of building. It's now houses. So literally horse and cart it the whole way across on the tram track. There was a tunnel at the top as well, and a passing place in the middle of that. The tunnel's still generally there. You can get into one entrance, sort of, I think. Never really something interesting for you as we finish all the elevation. Can get down onto the canal and then a couple of miles of nice flat walking where I can just let my feet just rest. Rather than this, it's just horrible. Ooh. It's actually the source of all tango. Oh, that kid's gone. Oh. One. Oh god. 2, 3, 5, 6. Hang on. Just right. No, it is. I thought I was in the wrong place then. Oh no, I've gone to the wrong station. Welcome to the end of the Gritstone Trail. I'm sinking many drinks tonight and a load of energy. So, yeah. The end of my first ever long distance hike. Right, hello and welcome to my kit load out for the Gritstone Trail, the GT. So, I've been literally saving as much weight as possible, so I'm down to literally 13 kilos total. But first off, since I've got to get a train there, just an isotonic drink and literally just a bit of breakfast for the morning. I can then eat that on the train, bin that. Rucksack wise, 45 litre Viper tactical thing, which is actually really quite comfy. And on that, just a little Dutch Army pouch for the camcorder. The usual little trimmings there. On the very top, just an OEX Fox 1 tent, which is 1.84 kilos. That's also got about 200 grams of tarp for sticking underneath it as well. So I don't need anything there. So first off is my sleeping bag, which weighs 1,670 grams, duck down sleeping bag, nice cheap one from China. I've laid down to 0 degrees comfort, but top of 0 degrees for comfort, it's really quite nice and lightweight. So that goes in the bottom bit there first. Next up is the water bladder. So this is a 3 litre rider's pouch, so it's a military one that comes in a full camo sort of ruck that you can chuck on your back. But it's actually it's just Source, so it's an American brand, but so it seems absolutely bulletproof, and all the waterproof clippings and stuff. So that goes in next, and that goes into the water bladder sleeve. So I'm running, that weighs about 100 grams, and I'm running 1.7 litres of water, and that's just to get me the first 10 miles from Disley to Teg's Nose. Teg's Nose, what I'll do is I'll then top up literally just water from the country park. In the top it's got a hose, a hole for the hose, and that through. And then I want to be running that to, doesn't really matter too much, but I'd rather run it to my right side since I've got the pouch on the other side. Yep, that's it. So let's actually connect that in. Also sleeping bags in the actual plastic bag the rucksack came with as well, so that it's an extra layer of waterproof, so if something does leak, that's not going to get wet, because that will end everything before it starts really. Right, so next up, food. Right, let's start with the extremities. So going into this pouch here, because it's got front, a middle and the main compartment. So in there, just toothpaste, earplugs, toothbrush, folding toothbrush, and some talcum powder for feet. So I'll chuck that in there. I've got my shit kit. So I've gone as light as possible. Oh yeah, I've not said the weights, haven't I? Yeah. All of that there is 79 grams. Shit kit, nice new little titanium trowel, and then just some toilet roll and wet wipes. All nice and clean into there, and all of that I think was under 91 grams. Chuck that in. Up next, because I'm wearing proper army shorts with the massive pockets on them, I've got one Michael Jackson glove. And that is literally because I've been walking a few bits of it just recently, just for testing, and literally it's so overgrown that I'm thinking that actually might come in handy. And that is literally about 49 grams or so, I think it was. So that's going to go on my person, so I'll put that over there. 10,000 milliamp hour power bank. That's 242 grams, one charging cable for that. That'll go in as well. Caston B3 bottle, so I can literally just source water as I need to. And that's ridiculously light as well. I think that's sub 100 grams. I can't bother to look on the list properly. I'm sure you can dig out the weight. Just a very light balaclava, and just a very light pair of gloves, just in case, even though it's meant to be double digits tomorrow, even throughout the evening, you can always still get cold, so it's worth taking some. Insect repellent and tissues. Literally, if there is some sort of issue where I need to sort of strap up ankles or something, there you go. Bit of first aid stuff. Because I'm not planning on hiking in the dark, and because it doesn't get dark until about 10 o'clock anyway, got just one little torch and then a head torch, which I think that's meant to be 1,000 odd, and that's 400 lumens I think, so there you go. In theory there's a backup. I do have another backup in a minute as well. I've got my main cook kit, so it's just a BCB, and then I've got 6 fuel tabs and a bit of foil, which actually builds into a little windbreak around the whole unit, so that's going to go in the top there in a minute actually. Then titanium spork, and in case I need to dry anything, just a really small microfiber cloth towel. Something as well. Cook kit wise, 750ml titanium pot. So I'm just going to be using freeze dried meals. So I've just got some coffees in there, a bag so that once it's got soot on it I can just chuck it in there, and just one of the little fold out cups for the coffees. So that's really nice and light. I can't remember where I've packed that in a second, so that's in the top. Just a rain cover. The odds of rain are ridiculously low, unless there's a flood. So I'm not really too fussed about that, but that's more for the evening in the tent, because as it's a one-man tent, I can get the rucksack inside, but to do that I'm going to need to make sure that this just goes over the bag, so if any condensation hits the bag it's not going to leak onto it. There's a hamster on the loose as well. So that's that. Right. Main part of sleep system. I'm probably not going to need the booties, so I'm going to take them anyway. You have to wait, Evie. Duck down booties. I've then got, as like most people who can't be bothered to blow up airbeds these days, just one of the little pumps, which has actually got a light on as well. So there you go, another third source of light. And then also I've got an inflatable pillow, and then just a Nature Hike inflatable mattress. So that's literally all in the bag. and as a backup if the pump does fail, even though I've got the charger I can charge it from, I've also got the manual dry bag as well, which again I can always use to stick all my gear in if it does decide to somehow rain. Not too easy. Right, since it isn't meant to rain, really I don't need a coat for rain, I just need it in case I get cold or for the wind. So literally, I've just stolen this one off the wife. Does the job, and it's half the weight of like one of the military ones. As well as that, for water wise, I've got 2 more ice tonic drinks and one made up with 400ml, I think, stuck in there. Yeah, so it's a more potent mix, and that's literally just so that I don't need to, well, just salt loss more than anything. Clothes wise, since it is going to be 20 odd degrees tomorrow, and on Friday when I'm walking the last part it is going to be mid-20s, I really don't need much in the way of warmth, so I've just got a duck down jacket and a spare pair of socks just in case first ones do have any issues. Right, food wise, I don't know if I've gone OTT or not. The food's in 2 sections. So, got a bag of trail mix which I've then added some sweets to and stuff, so I've got a mix of proteins, nuts, carbs, etc. I've also got another of them in a minute. Just a couple of bags for throwing rubbish in, which should be near nothing. Just a blueberry and a maple bun, military issue ones. Yeah, you have to wait even. Then just some more ice tonic drinks and also a energy drink as well somewhere there. And then to keep it ultra light, which means I'm definitely out of source water, just got some freeze-dried meal, so a mousse and a dessert, so quite lightweight with 600 calories there. Chicken tikka and rice. For breakfast in the morning, scrambled egg and cheese. Oh, my tea hamster, get free. And a chicken curry. I think someone wants my food. So let's chuck that back in. That's just in a dry bag, so it's all nice and clean out the way. Evie, you're a pain, you are. Hey? Nothing the nuts. That good compression down. So that'll be the food to go in. Last but not least, I really love carrying a chest rig, because if you've got a map case like the Ortlieb, you can literally just shove it underneath the back while you're hiking and then just connect it on as well. So in here I have a really big bag of trail mix, because I'm aiming to do 24 miles the first day and then the remaining 11 miles on the second day. A compass, although I don't have a map, I've got the phone map. I've got the maps on my phone and I can keep that charged up anyway, and it's all the trails meant to be really well signposted, so I'm not really too fussed. It's just for a cardinal bearing here and there. Hand sanitizer. In the front I've got the first aid kit, so literally just a minor kit, a few burn gels, a few various different drugs for things. Sting relief cream for when I've walked through about 1 million stinging nettles. Tick removers just in case they do grab onto me. Yeah, just some quick clots sort of stuff, and some plasters. Just a general kit really. A thing of Vaseline, some sunscreen, little pack of wipes, more plasters, and then just a a general little sort of mini sort of survival kit. So signal mirror with a whistle, water purification tablets. For hot spots on the feet, I've just got a couple of little rolls of duct tape so I can just literally just tear them off. A fire steel as a backup to in my kit having a lighter for there, so I've got a secondary way of just lighting it just in case. Just a couple of little towels or so, little sewing kit, little chem light. So just a few little odds and ends in there. So that is literally all of my kit. So I'm going to pause the video there for a second and then I'll get it all packed. Right, so there we go, so there's absolutely everything packed. So try to keep it high up off the side here. Just the raincoat. Tent on top so that the gravity, centre of gravity is more close to my back, and also that bit of weight higher up. Because it's got the straps through there as well, it's not just strapped on tight. The odds of it coming off are next to nothing. Same with this, as well as it being strapped on there quite tight. I've also put the bungee through another cord there as well, which just needs a bit of tidying up in a bit. Around the front then, just literally through the D-link sort of connection ones, that's just through there, so that just sits out the way. Thing for the camcorder, I forgot there's a spare battery in there as well, and then yeah, it's got a nice little bit of padded hip belt, just tidied them up. So that's it. So total weight for all the kit, camcorder, I don't think it matters. Total weight 944 grams all in. So I think that's a fairly lightweight sort of kit for what's actually in here. So if you were doing anything, what would you do different? Adding more kit, taking anything out of the kit, anything cool that I've missed? Yeah, leave your comments below.